Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today on the Dungeon Dive, we are taking a quick look at Barkeep on the Borderlands, and this is created by W.F. Smith. I was a backer of this on Kickstarter, and it got delivered sometime earlier this year. I can't really remember when. This is still available as a PDF and as a physical copy, and I will put a link to the physical copy in the description below. And you can also buy the PDF on itch.io. But this is a really cool little zine, super well made, really well written, with lots of creative things going on. Now, this isn't specifically made for solo play, but I think it would be pretty easy to adapt to solo play, and you could also use it just as a way to kind of offset, to augment, to modify another game if you're looking for a cool system to have some neat things happening in different bars. So Barkeep on the Borderlands is literally a pub crawl. Your party, what do they call the party here? Your band, your jolly crew, your adventuring party is now a jolly crew. You are drinking buddies, and you are hopping from one bar to the next, trying to maintain your sobriety or at least not fall down blind drunk. However, there is also a story going on, and that's kind of the main focus of this zine. So you could use this as a module to play through the story in this zine, or you could also just use this to populate your own world with some random pubs and some cool things to do in those pubs. So like I said, this is written by W.F. Smith. It has art by a whole bunch of people and also guest writing by a whole bunch of people. So this Barkeep on the Borderlands is definitely a collaborative effort, and it is available from prismaticwastelands.com. And so that's where you can still buy physical copies. So you'll start with your table of contents and a glossary of some terms that you might want to use. And then it does have some recommended systems. It recommends using Errant or Cairn. I am familiar with Cairn. I am somewhat familiar with Errant, but I do not own it. I've heard Errant is very, very comprehensive, almost too much. It's just kind of overflowing with information. And it's probably not a game or system for me, but I am curious about it. But you could use this for any kind of D&D, Pathfinder, or any other kind of OSR game or NSR game that you wanted to play. Here we get a brief history of the keep. The realm of humankind sprawls and expands like an invasive weed. That sounds about right. A great ruler once reigned over this land. No one remembers their name. They were so great. The keep was organized for security and defense, and it turned into a giant, overflowing. This area is absolutely overflowing with bars. That is super cool. But a little bit of information about how to use this adventure as a complete adventure, stealing bits and pieces for the pubs, for your own games, and so on. But here we have the setup for the story in this module, and basically the monarch is dying. This monarch has been poisoned, and so your band, your jolly crew, your band of adventurers, your party is out looking for the antidote to deliver to the monarch to get a reward. And you are actually competing against the monarch's heir to find the antidote first so you can get the reward. And the antidote is as clear as gin, smells like a burglar burnt alive by dragon fire, and tastes like copper washed in mint. Exposed to fire, it turns royal blue. And the antidote was actually misdelivered to one of the pubs because somebody thought it was alcohol. And so you are going on your pub crawl in order to find that antidote. If you roll up new characters for this adventure, the zine does come with a handy D66 roll for different backgrounds. Let's look at an example here. We'll say yellow is 10s, so we have 41. You were a jovial priest. Anointed an annotated prayer book, a holy symbol, a bottle of holy water, 80 proof holy water, and an aloof deity, and 2d6 gold coins. So that would be your starting possessions on this pub crawl as a jovial priest. Or maybe we come across, maybe our character is 51, a parliamentary candidate. You have ribbon cutting scissors, perfectly coiffed hair, a campaign manager who is a follower, and 3d6 gold coins. So as you can see, there is a really kind of stark sense of humor. It's a little bit of a goofy game, but it's also really well written. And I've enjoyed just reading the book as and just having kind of an adventure in my mind as I have read through this book. And I can't overstate how lovely this book is. It is so well put together. It's saddle stitched. The pages have texture to them. The cover is really nice. The colors are great. The art is fantastic. And yeah, it's a lovely zine. It's one of my favorite zines just to read as a book. But we have our major factions. We have the Monarchy, the Interregnum. I like this, the Church of Chaos. It was formerly the Cult of Evil Chaos, but they rebranded to the much peppier Church of Chaos. We have the Quasi-Parliament, the Pangoblinic Council, the Academy. And here we have the neighborhoods of the keep, the neighborhood locations. We have the City Wood, the Iron Fens, the River Downs, and the Fort Ward. And in each one of those, you will have a little description along with some more important locations that you can discover in each one of those neighborhoods. This is a super cool page here. We have extra sidetracks. So these are each one of these is a D6 table that you can roll on for a side quest in each one of these neighborhoods. Let's say your party is in the Iron Fens, and 5, a head wizard hustler conjures a feast for a starving mob, but the food tastes of sawdust. The wizard blames the jolly crew. Okay, so you'll probably have to escape from your life from a mob who is mad about a poor tasting feast. Now here we have the kind of the basic rules, the backbone of everything that goes on in the adventure, how this is written. And we have the timeline of the Raves of Chaos. So in the keep, while you are playing this adventure, there is a huge festival going on. So there's all kinds of chaos everywhere. And so your band of your jolly adventurers, your jolly crew is having to work from one day to the next, navigating all of these parties, navigating all of these raves, all of this crazy stuff, all of this. It's kind of like a Mardi Gras thing that's going on. And you're competing against the heir of the monarch to find that antidote. And you only have 6 days to do so. So if you were playing this as a normal game with a GM or referee, then they would be keeping track of time. But if you play this as a solo game, you will need a way to keep track of time and to kind of keep track of the ticking away of the time in the background. What's happening when your party is doing their own thing. So we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. We have some a D6 table of pranks, the Pangoblinic pranks. A 2 here, that they ransack the Keep Museum, dumping all of the historical artifacts in the river. Haha, funny prank. I like how each day also has a D6 table for different rumors. So that's another way that you could introduce some side quests with the rumors, how you will search for the antidote, and then what's happening with the prime minister election, and then how to keep track of your time. What to do when you're not drinking. You can go on dungeon delves. You can explore the caves, catacombs, and crannies beneath the city. Our Lady of the Sacred Speakeasy has the best known entrance to the catacombs. That's a really cool pub. We'll take a closer look at that pub in a minute. You can find honest work. You can go on hunting trips, rumors and research, savings and loans, or maybe a shopping spree. And then here we get into our rules about the pub crawl point procedure and drinking rules. You have a sobriety die chain, like a usage chain. So when your constitution is high, you start with a D12 and you go all the way down to a D4 until you are blackout drunk. So you do have a sobriety die. A character's maximum sobriety die is based on their constitution score. When they are stone cold sober, they are at their maximum sobriety die. And then as you drink, you will go down and you can get being tipsy, being drunk, or being blackout with random tables to determine what happens to you while you are drinking, how to handle the point crawl. On the map here, between each pub, it tells you how much time it takes to get from one pub to the next. And what's really cool is when we get into the specific pages of each pub, each page tells you the pubs that are closest to the pub you are currently in. And it's just a really well designed. It's a really well designed, I should say. And here we start here, and the rest of the zine is information on each of the pubs. So we have Granny's Cottage. And as you can see, we have the picture of Granny's Cottage, which is located right here. And then from the picture, we can tell that we can go to the Royal Wine Cellar, which takes 3 turns. We can go to the Watchtower Without Wizard, which takes 2 turns, or we can go to Off Central Park, and that takes 3 turns. And then it tells you which page to turn to as you go to each one of those different pubs. Each of the pubs has a list of guests. It has a list of side quests that you can do in that pub. It has what is the proprietor doing? What is the owner doing? What are the signature drinks? How much do they cost? And a 2d6 random situation in each pub. So like I said, even if you don't play this game as the pub crawl that it is designed for, you could easily take one of these pubs and just plop it into your world. And I think they're creative and weird enough that they could fit into a whole bunch of different types of games. So this says that over the river and through the woods, there is a quaint dive bar. Its walls are gingerbread and its windows are crystallized sugar. The crone that runs it is in constant good cheer. Pay no mind to the pitch black smoke billowing from its chimney. What's she doing in there? And then here we have Off Central Park. I like this little board game over here. I really want to play that board game. So we have the same kind of information for Off Central Park, the Watchtower Without a Wizard. The Watchtower floats in the air, suspended by 2 hot air balloons. From the raves of chaos, it is anchored in the city wood. The tower once belonged to a professor of the academy. Now it's a hideout for pirates and academy students. We have the Brazen Belvedere here, stiflingly hot and filled with smoke. Bedecked in bronze and blackened silks, the pub is a refuge for immigrants from the elemental plane of fire. So yeah, demons are hanging out here, and probably not a place to go unless you want to end up smelling like brimstone. We have the Brutal Legion. We have Our Lady of the Sacred Speakeasy. This is super cool because we have this old style pub here, and then underneath is the Cult of Chaos over here, the Church of Evil Chaos. And so if you wanted to go on some dungeon crawls, if you wanted to go take your pub crawl down into the catacombs, this would be a good place to start. I love this pub here. This pub is super cool. Let's see, a 2d6 side quest here. 5. A gargoyle swoops down to steal a hat or an item from the jolly crewmate. They add it to their rooftop pile of stolen trinkets. So you would have to maybe go up to the rooftop to fight that gargoyle to get your hat back. Some random situations in Our Lady of Sacred Speakeasy. 7 here. We have a skeleton animates and tries to flee the catacombs with cultists in hot pursuit. Okay, then we have the Rothskeller Krubenfall. I do not know what that word is. A traditional kobold beer hall and brewery serving rat milk beer, charred meats, and other minor delicacies under the Iron Fins Ham Warehouse. Kobold buskers roam the streets to promote the pub with flyers, live music, and wholesome old world drinking for the whole family. This sounds like the pub that me and my friends go to in Seattle when we play games. The Beer Stube. A German-style pub that has all German and European beer. Someone's Apartment. I think this is a play on either like Seinfeld or Friends, and I think that's kind of Seinfeld or and Kramer there. This is kind of a situational comedy, a sitcom bar there. We have the Warm Shoulder. This is a really cool bar here. The Host Club targets the lonely partners of adventurers. No other clientele has love lives as empty or pockets as deep. Charming hosts entertain guests with stories, games, and good conversation. Listen to their problems and give much-needed emotional support. Yes, the widows and widowers of adventurers there. We have the Whirling Mummy. Looks like it's a dance club for undead. It's an undead dance club, and it looks like they might like ska or something there. That's awesome. The Bar at the Beginning of the Universe. And then we have the quasi-parliament. So the governmental official building in the keep actually has a full-service pub within its walls. We have the Royal Wine Cellar. So if you want to go somewhat upscale there. The Savings and Lonely Hearts Club, built in a former vault of the Royal Treasury. It's a gastropub. Hosts speed dating and scoundrels looking for partners in crime. We have the Untippler's Nook. And then we have a couple more here. We have the bird cage. The owner wanted to sell the rooftop karaoke bar and retire to a tropical island, but discovered an endangered bird roosting in the rafters. Now any sale is prohibited by royal decree. The bird isn't the one caged. Here we have the original tavern trademark. There should be like the original tavern and maybe the new original tavern or the old original tavern. We have the Ship of Theseus and Somnambulas. And then let's see here. We have Three's Company, the last bar there. But yeah, this is a fun zine. It's fun to read. The adventure contained within is interesting. It's well constructed, so I think it would be easy to run either for a GM or for solo play. There are enough rules, enough crunch here that makes it easy to approach. And you can also just take little bits and pieces out and use it in your own games. So that was a look at Barkeep on the Borderlands, again from W.F. Smith. And you still can get physical copies from prismaticwasteland.com. All right, guys, we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.